Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Kill Team update. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we've got two articles to take a look at. One is talking a little bit more about the upcoming Kill Team Salvation and terrain rules, and then this one is about the Aspect Warriors, and it's going to hopefully answer a lot of our questions. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Mix and match Aspect Warriors to create the Deadliest Blades of Khaine Kill Team. So I guess there was a leak because people were already saying that this was going to be the case in the last couple of days. But let's take a look. Elite Specialists are a key tool in the arsenal of any Killzone commander. Trained and dedicated to performing a single important task in the service of the squad, from the keen-eyed Kasrkin Sharpshooter to the arcane expertise of the Legionary Balefire Acolyte. From the medical skills of the Novitiate Hospitaller to the Commando Comms Boy, Radia knows what. All kill teams rely on these highly specialized operatives. Well, not all kill teams. The Blades of Khaine have no need for inflexible specialization. Not when you can rely on consummate aeldari skills. These kill teams are made up of Aspect Warriors from the Striking Scorpions, Dire Avengers, and Howling Banshees shrines. Each combines stealth, discipline, and agile fury. Okay, so we know the Striking Scorpions are the kit that's coming out right now in plastic, and then the Dire Avengers got a plastic kit a few years back, and then the Howling Banshees got one as well. So all plastic models for this kill team. Unfortunately, if you are going to build a mix, you're going to need basically 3 different sets of guys, and each one is somewhere around like $40 to $60. So if you want to do a mix and match, you're talking about like $150 to $180 worth of models. And I think the Banshees come in 5s, the Scorpions are going to be in 10s in this set, and the Dire Avengers are in 5s as well. So it's going to be a pricey kill team if you're going to mix and match. As a result of building a Blades of Khaine kill team to slightly different expertise, all you need to do is pick a single Exarch from one of the 3 shrines. And the Exarch is basically like the Sergeant, and any combination of 7 Aspect Warrior operatives. You can select a full team of brand new Striking Scorpions, or opt for Fire Dragons or Howling Banshees, or any combination of all 3. Instead of relying on fixed specialists, any operative may instead use the Aspect Technique during their activation. There are 5 Aspect Techniques associated with each shrine, meaning 15 in total. Think of them like tactical ploys, and you can use for free, allowing operatives to shrug off injuries, leap great distances, and fade into the shadows with preternatural skills. Alright, so the Aspect Techniques. Aspect Techniques are unique abilities that you'll find over the following pages that are available to Blades of Khaine operatives with the relevant keyword. You cannot use more than 1 technique per activation. You cannot use each technique more than once per turning point. Okay, so if you have 15 of them to choose from, each guy is going to be able to use 1 per activation, and you can't duplicate them amongst different operatives in the same turn. And then the next bullet point, if every friendly Blades of Khaine operative selected for deployment has the same aspect keyword, e.g. Striking Scorpion, you cannot use each technique more than twice per turning point. Okay, so if you're all from one of the aspect keywords, so you take all Striking Scorpions, you're not going to have the full 15 to choose from, you're only going to have 5, but then you can duplicate each of those up to 2 times. So it rewards you for taking a pure kill team. I'm not sure what's going to be better though, honestly. This gives the Blades of Khaine a completely different style of play to any kill teams that have come before, as no individual operatives take mission critical skills to the grave. Having a backup plan for any role they need to fill allows commanders to play fast and loose with their frontline troops, safe in the knowledge that operatives behind them can pick up the slack. Okay, so that is a good point, and I do like that. Like normally if you have a sniper or a comms and you lose that guy, it's not like somebody else can just pick up the comms equipment or pick up the sniper rifle. In this case, you lose an operative, but you don't lose the ability to do whatever that special cool thing is. For example, dashing a Dire Avenger to the front lines early is a great way to shred clustered operatives with the Death of 1,000 Blades technique, while another ally holds a line and rock-solid defenses from the Unsitting Immovable ability. Alright, so we see Dire Avenger Aspect Techniques, Death of 1,000 Blades. Use this Aspect Technique after a friendly Dire Avenger operative performs a shoot action and uses a Shuriken Catapult or Twin Shuriken Catapult for the shooting attack. So we know the regular Shuriken Catapult is what the Dire Avengers carry, and then the Exarch has the option to have the Twin Shuriken Catapult, or presumably he'll have his normal build options as well. Make another shooting attack with this operative using the same weapon against another valid target within circle of the first target. So that's pretty good, basically like a shoot twice type deal. And then we have the Unsitting Immovable. Use this aspect technique in the roll defense step of any shooting attack made against a friendly Dire Avenger operative. If you retain any critical saves and discard 1 or more failed saves, select one of your failed saves to be retained as a successful normal save instead. So if you get a critical success, you could basically just turn one of your fails into a success. Something that we've seen a lot. So pretty cool. Each aspect warrior is a deadly combatant, even without aspect techniques, and every shrine has its own dedicated ability to ensure that you're living up to the legend of their Phoenix Lord, such as the Banshee Mask, which demoralizes opponents and lowers their ability to hit in close combat. Likewise, the Striking Scorpions pile on extra damage with their Mana Blasters, which are perfect both for knocking out wounded opponents before the swinging starts, and for pushing them past the injured threshold so they're less effective on the counterpunch. Alright, so we see the Banshee Mask. Each time this operative performs a fight action, worsen the weapon skill characteristic of the target operative by 1 for that combat. It is not cumulative with being injured. So pretty good. Movement is 3 circle, APL is 3, GA is 1, defense is 3, save is 4+, and wounds 8. And then we see the Striking Scorpion. Move is 3 circle, APL 3, GA 1, defense is 3, save is 4+, and wounds 8. And then the Mana Blaster, each time this operative performs a fight action, at the end of the select valid target step of the combat, the target suffers 2 mortal wounds. Okay, so that's pretty cool. There's like no roll to it or anything. The Mana Blasters are like the little lasers on his face and just does 2 mortal wounds, so that is nice. Overall, a potent mix of speed, power, and flexibility makes the Blades of Khaine a highly aggressive team that rewards bold moves and confident play. Stay tuned later this week to see how our own Warhammer community staff painted their own scouts and striking scorpions. Kill Team Salvation is coming to pre-order later this month.
And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by cmogames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. cmogames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. cmogames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. cmogames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40K, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit cmogames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about cmogames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video.
Alright, so here's our second article, Kill Team, Your Guide to Fighting on Beta-Decima. The new season of Kill Team takes us to the dying planet of Beta-Decima, where special operatives are battling across the gantries and walkways of Mechanicus rig stations, above the warp-tainted waters of the Tumulent Ocean. After filming this week's episode of Battle Report, gaming presenter Nick sat down with Kill Team Games developer Elliot to chat about what it's really like to fight in the new Killzone. The ups and downs of moving. Nick, Killzone Beta-Decima brings more vertical movement into the games than ever before. The corridors of the Gallowdark are all one level, so close quarters games are almost 2D experience. But on Beta-Decima, we're climbing ladders and gantries throughout the game, checking line of sight, and finding ourselves caught up by the enemy moving above or below us in ways we haven't anticipated. It brings a whole new perspective to the game, and will give players new things to think about. Getting to the key objective marker or making that big charge will mean really thinking about how you move, and taking a few risks. So right off the bat, it makes me think things like Reavers are going to be really good. Elliot, you're right. What I found was that playing in Killzone Beta-Decima gives you a new perspective on certain operatives. Those that can easily climb like Reavers in Phobos strike teams, or even fly such as Corsair Voidsguard Shaderunner, become more powerful, able to traverse platforms with ease, and leave other operatives lagging behind. It also encourages you to make more use of equipment you might otherwise not normally take. Not many players were selecting climbing equipment in the corridors of the Gallowdark, but on Beta-Decima it will be invaluable. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Didn't think about the Shaderunner. That's definitely an awesome operative. And then of course, the climbing equipment, stuff like the commandos, probably going to be pretty good as well. Jump to it. Nick, jumping has been the Kill Team rules since we first deployed on Octarius, but I must admit to having rarely used those rules. I always seemed like a bit of a risk when an operative could just find a way to walk around a gap instead, but I found that jumping becomes essential in Beta-Decima if you want to get anywhere. In fact, in many of the missions in the new book, there are terrain layouts to create gaps that specifically can be jumped, almost tempting the player to do just that. Elliot, jumping between platforms is essential for sure, but it comes with a huge risk. If you fail, you'll end up standing on the platform you were trying to jump away from, out of position and ripe to be taken down. If you were charging, this means you were on the engage order and now find yourself fully revealed on a platform. Nick, I'm pretty sure that exact moment happened in our Battle Report episode. In fact, it got messy. Firepower. Nick, looking at the board, you might think that shooting would dominate Killzone Beta-Decima. It's relatively open after all, and there's not too much cover. But you'd be wrong. Elliot, we need a way to keep shooting heavy kill teams from just winning games in the first or second turning point. We came up with the idea of the polluted steaming seas kicking up such an industrial mist, and fourth, that it's impossible to shoot through more than a few inches. If both shooter and target are on the bottom level, operatives have the venture up onto the gantries if they want to really unleash their firepower. But of course, that makes them more vulnerable too. Nick, it's such a clever mechanic and really opened up the game. Seeing as most objectives are on the gantries, you often have to take huge risks moving into control if you want these precious victory points. Elliot, you really have to think about firing lines to keep your operatives safe. Here's a sneaky trick. Look for any operatives or equipment that'll let you shoot at obscure targets, like the Hearthguard Gunners, High-Las Rotary Cannon, Snipers and scanners with that capability become extremely valuable, allowing you to ignore the mist and waves and shoot straight across the battlefield. No matter what level you're on, if you're on the receiving end, you'll have to go back to conventional forms of cover and lurk behind gantry pillars to avoid getting shot. So they don't actually mention incursors here, but I would imagine that's going to be really good as well. Definitely are a lot of things that can ignore obscuring, so those teams are going to see some strength in this edition. Claiming victory in Beta-Decima. Nick, if you want to succeed in Beta-Decima, you have to alter how you play. All-out combat-focused teams such as the Felgor Ravagers or the new Striking Scorpions and the Blades of Khaine are going to need a plan to make them into melee. You want sneaky tricks, extra movement abilities, anything that helps you sneak forward under a conceal order and strike. It's also best to make sure that you're in cover when you finally hit combat. Getting stranded out in the open after killing an enemy operative would be most unadvisable. If your kill team focuses more on range firepower, you'll need to keep mobility in mind, so you can get into position and unleash your best attacks and biggest guns. You'll need to traverse the gantries to do so think hard about the climbing equipment. If you've refocused your team around mobility and flexibility, then consider selecting tech ops that lean into those qualities. From the archetypes like Recon, you may serve you better than Seek and Destroy. Thanks guys, you'll be able to download the rules for Killzone Bheta-Decima from Warhammer Community when it arrives in stores. Okay, so that is good. I'm glad they announced that. So if you don't buy the actual Kill Team Salvation set, you'll still have access to the rules from Beta-Decima for free. That is a good thing to have. Along with updated approved ops for games set in hazardous areas, if you can't wait to make your way to Beta-Decima, make sure to catch this week's episode of Battle Report in Warhammer Plus, where the Space Marine Scouts take on the Striking Scorpions of the Blades of Khaine in New Killzone. And then there is a note at the bottom, teams like Farstalker Kimban can use unique boyz to automatically pass jump tests. Everyone else, good luck. All right, so interesting article here. So we've got some of the details that we want to know. I think the most important things of note to kind of sum this up are we have the mixed teams for Aeldari. That is very cool, with some benefits for taking a pure team and then also for taking a mixed team. And then most importantly also is you can pick up the kill zone, you can pick up salvation, but the rules for the actual kill zone itself are going to be free regardless. So whether you use your existing terrain or make something, you won't be required to pick up salvation to have access to those rules for free. So let me know what you think down below. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. It does look like the combat teams are going to struggle here, but obviously they were strong in Into the Dark. So I would definitely think they're going to be kind of weak in this. It doesn't mean they won't be good. It doesn't mean they won't be competitive, but you're definitely going to have to be a little more strategic. And then there's some teams that ignore Obscured that are going to be really good in this. So it's definitely a big shakeup, but looks like it's going to be fun. So as always, let me know what you think down below, and special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and it looks pretty good. And I'm out of here.